My name is Rodney Sibui. I'm from the organization called Kukula, which is based in Bushbuck Region, Mpumalanga. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the organization. We wanted to preserve, to protect our knowledge, our cultural practices, as we are doing on a day-to-day basis. We wanted to see the sustainable use of our natural resources protected. That's why we started this organization. And one other thing is to make sure that our knowledge is not taken away. And because we have got a wealth of knowledge.
I conducted research here in South Africa on intellectual property rights and traditional medicine and traditional healing in Bushbuck Ridge, where I spent 6 months with the healers.
Yeah, the type of knowledge that we are having is the indigenous knowledge. I mean the traditional one. It's the knowledge that we inherit from our forefathers. So we want to keep it for the new generation. It's knowledge about treatment of ailment of diseases. And there we're using the species, the plants. In our organization, we have got what we call the BCP. It's a biocultural protocol. So that serves as a tool, as a guideline for us, so that everyone who's coming to have access of our knowledge, we must follow the protocol, even the researchers. So it's something that is guiding us. And it also helps us as a healers not to do the over-harvesting. We must know how to harvest the medicinal plants for sustainable use.
So they had an agreement with a local cosmetic company to set up an exchange of plant material, which they did. And within this process, they set up a TK Commons in order to be able to protect their own knowledge within their own community. And this TK Commons system differentiates from the old system of knowledge sharing. The old system is based on the idea that knowledge would be transferred within healers' schools or impandes, from a teacher to an apprentice. Now the TK Commons, the new idea of sharing and pooling knowledge, is based on a more democratic kind of system. The old system is kind of hierarchical as a transfer system. Now this TK Commons has more the idea of sharing knowledge within all kinds of different healers. Doesn't matter which kind of healing schools they're from or where they come from, which ethnic group.
Before we worked individually, but now we decided to come together as one. When we started, we were about 80 healers that come together. We said, no, let us bring the knowledge together so that the knowledge must not go away. In that way, we are trying to document our knowledge so that even if there are some potential investors or the companies that like to develop business with us, and then they can come to us and then we can share the knowledge with them.
This is a Zulu hat. It's called Tolo.
Okay.
It means only married women wear this. I'm not married, I don't wear it. Yeah. And then she covers her shoulders. You have to cover your shoulders, your chest, with whatever covering you have. And then we move to the bottom is tia. This is a Zulu skirt. It's called a Zulu skirt, but it's made out of, it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific material. You can use cow skin, you can use fabric, you can use whatever. The decorations here are basically for decorative purposes. They don't necessarily have a specific meaning. However, the way she's dressed indicates that she's a married woman. If I had to dress traditionally, I wouldn't have shoulders. I wouldn't have this. I'll just probably have like a short thing only and no hat. And okay. That's how I would try to differentiate me from her, because I'm not married and she is. And
so they're all married.
They're all married women. Dressed based on the way they've dressed is modest. They've covered their shoulders, they've covered their chests and their skirts, and they're very like modestly dressed. Okay. And then the beads don't necessarily represent anything. It's just a matter of decorations and And this is a shield, a Zulu shield. Those small because it's women. They don't necessarily pose a threat, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a big.
So for men,
the men usually carry the big one, and women carry the small one for traditional purposes. The umbrella represents a spear, but because they're not allowed to bring spears, so an umbrella or a stick is a representation. But usually, it's usually like a spear. Yeah.
They're not allowed to have spears here because of this event?
Safety reasons.
Okay,
but generally, when you're engaging in Zulu dancing, we usually use traditional weapons like an assegai and a spear.
What is assegai?
It's Sakil is an assegai. It's basically a stick that has a very head, like it's carved out of wood. It's got like a very round top, and it can hold it. It's either that or a spear. But because we're in a public space like this, they don't want to bring it. So umbrellas represent that assegai element. So that's why you carry the spear and the umbrella to represent the spear.
Okay.
Because you usually carry spears when you festive and you dance. Yeah, that's basically it. That's why I was able to look, because I'm also Zulu. So it's all about the drum. If you hear the beats, you look at the rhythm and you just follow along.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Well, thanks a lot for telling me about that.
No problem.
What's your name again?
My name is Unofundi.
All right, it's great to meet you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Now, most of the members of our next group comes from a family that has a rich 1,000-year oral tradition of passing down stories, songs, and poems from generation to generation. They sing songs about peace in the world, freedom for women, and elements of life. Winners of the Octave Music Award for World Music, Malik Pathe.
Thank you. Biggie! Biggie, Biggie!